you by now should know it off the top of your head. And anytime you meet me, I'll say, Nana, I didn't lie on no kind of saying, kind of meet here. Oh my God. Can you imagine? You're sitting at a restaurant and somebody walks up to you, oh, it's you. I saw you. Oh, that thing you said, the lion and the historian thing. How does it go? I really like it. And then you have a plate of food in your mouth. And then you have to say, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Well, welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao the Fourth, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa. And I say thank God it's Monday. Another wonderful opportunity to meet up and perform one of radio's finest ritual. A ritual that says we are better than this. A ritual that says in spite of all this is still the best country in the world. That we must jealously guard and improve our country. A ritual for patriots, for nation lovers. Welcome to the finest hour on radio and welcome to the show I call That's My Opinion. Folks, right here on Joy 99.7 FM and only on Joy 99.7 FM. So let us all gather and make truth good. And our topic today, folks, fellow Ghanaians. Fellow Ghanaians. Topic we definitely need a disclaimer. Joy FM would Joy FM would like to state that the views, comments, opinions, contributions, and statements made by contributors, commentators on this program do not necessarily represent the views or policies of Multimedia Group Limited or Joy FM, and neither Multimedia Group Limited nor Joy FM necessarily share, sanction, or endorse the views, comments, opinions, or contributions so expressed on this program. So our topic is fellow Ghanaians. Folks, you see, one of my gifts, let me say gift, I don't like saying things like that. One of my gifts is to be able to, like if there's a situation and everybody's talking about it, I'm able to find another angle that people have missed or have refused to look at it, and then I come from that angle. I think that's one of the success of this show, where even though the thing has been discussed over and over and over, I find a different angle to approach it with, to make it fresh and bring it back on the table. But this has been one of the most difficult ones, thinking which angle. Which angle hasn't been bashed and battered and scrutinized and have experts analyze percentages and data and everything? And there's one subject that you cannot say, I'm not talking about it. You must talk about it. Now, for some time now, folks, we have all been waiting to hear something from leadership. Folks, truth be told, the grounds are not good. Tensions are high. Chroma is shit. Folks, we are all struggling with that sudden, sharp rise in cost of living. I mean, there are some who are literally They can't even afford to die. Because it's can't be because I mean, times are hard. I met this guy, was going to buy something. When I went there, he was also buying something, and the guy walked in, and the guy said he hadn't eaten for 2 days or something. And I mean, this guy just broke down in anger, stress, frustration, and started crying and, wondering why all these hardships. I was particularly scared. I was scared. I've never seen a man, just so emotional right there. I think I was emotional. Folks, Gromashi, in Canada, it is tough out there. So rightfully, we were looking to leadership. And in this case, specifically the president. Because, folks, we do not trust many of his appointees. They cannot calm us down. In fact, we will not even listen to them. We needed to hear from the man we voted for. The rest, there's no one who appoint you. We wanted to hear from the man we voted for. Lo and behold, Sunday, 30th October 2022, the president spoke. Folks, we were anxious. We were eager. There were no leaks as well before the speech. Sometimes you bring a leak, he will touch on this subject or touch on that subject. Nothing. As to what he may say or what he won't say in the speech, we had to wait. And God, we waited. Folks, all this time, I mean, if you live anywhere near Ghana, forget about in Ghana, anywhere near Ghana, the call to sack the finance minister and deputy has been trending. I mean, where even members of the majority, the own party, came out publicly calling for him to go. Then the CD losing value too rapidly. People's savings and livelihood diminishing right there in their faces. The size of government has become a subject, one too many. The size of government is too big, too expensive. So we were all sitting down, waiting. What's in the speech? Folks, recently, the president met up with security personnel to urge them to stay loyal to the Constitution. Calm down. And you ask yourself, why? What will prompt such a meeting? Folks, if you have your ears on the ground and monitored the social media and the airspace, the youth are really charged up. Lack of jobs. In your face, profligacy. The rikash, no, I mean, luxury in your face. Oh, brekra, near rikash. Folks, should somebody get up right now and shout, "Cho boy," things would really go south. So the need to call for calm and show it is very urgent. Folks, the call to return to the country back to military rule. You speak to any other person, you hear that. People want some sort of shake-up in the system because the mess is too much. It's like every sector, even even churches, I've joined in the fray. Once upon a time, we ran to church for solace. Now you hear some of the stories coming out of the church. We are better off. And so people want to shake up in the system to bring some sanity. Folks, it is said that there is no bad leader, but rather bad advisors or elders. So in Akan, yes, you're in a boni ni ho, because the chief is there, and any move he makes, he would have consulted his elders before he makes the move. And so whatever it is that the chief comes out to do, it is believed that that's what his elders have advised him to do. So they said that it's no in a boni ni ho. Advices and so I ask folks, the advisors, the speech writers or writer, whoever it is, I mean, do they board trotro? Do they follow discussions in the nation? Do they buy from the same markets? Do they fill up their cars from the same gas stations we go? Indeed, folks, are they even in Ghana? Or they are set up somewhere and they're sending emails, just putting grammar on paper. Are they in Ghana? How do you send your king out like that with a speech? As though it's business as usual. How do you send a king out there with this speech as though it's business as usual? And I wonder if the speech writers and advisors have monitored the airwaves after. And have they been bold enough to report the truth back to the president that after your speech, these are the sentiments out there? Have they been bold to go back? Oh, why kumbebia, what say baby speech? You finish everywhere. I won't be surprised. Oh, well, you did it. Good job, boss. Good job. Leadership can be so lonely, you have no idea. Leadership, it can be so lonely that something that is trending and open outside, probably even on a signboard, and you be a leader stuck up there in your palace or your castle or your whatever it is, and particularly these ones that are so ring-fenced. All the people close to you want to tell you what you want to hear, so they get what they want to get. If you're not careful. Folks, a nation so charged up and agitated is a nation ready and ripe for radical changes. The nation itself, everybody is charged and heated up. Yeah, the people are struggling. So we are ready and ripe for radical changes. And when you get to this stage, unless you bring radical changes, you're not moving. I mean, I'm not talking radical. Now, once upon a time, look at Fidel Castro. Was in a to be in Dibrunya, because he, the year before he exported, I think, 8.2 tons of sugarcane, and the year after he was trying to achieve 7 tons, which means he had even lost 1.2, and under no circumstance was he going to go below that. He needed that 7 tons, and Christmas was approaching. He told them, Joe, for Christmas, because that's where we are getting our foreign exchange from. You see, sometimes that is how you shake up a system. Sometimes that is how you shake up a system. Say, Joe, forget about Jesus for now. Next year, and next year, we need our foreign exchange. So people are ripe for radical changes. Yes, you see, we may have criticized the president for coming out late, but let us commend you for at least coming. We may have you should have said this, but at least let us commend you for coming. Folks, that speech should have been tantamount to a coup or a revolution. It should have been titled The Axe. The speech, it should have been titled The Axe. Nadado should have taken an axe to his government. By the time he leaves, 60% of people he's employed will not be there. He should have taken an axe to his government. He should have declared it Operation Save Ghana. Wala tu walasa. Eat Ghana, wear Ghana, use Ghana. He should have shocked the system back to life. I expected about 15% of imports rendered useless after the speech. I expect about 15% of imports rendered useless. And more items to follow. I keep telling you this. I mean, one day I was driving, I saw inflatable penguins. Folks, I get to traffic lights. Some guy comes to my car if I wanted to buy inflatable penguins. Inflatable penguin. And yet tomorrow they are telling me that because of the dollar is going up, you're going to buy 17 cedis to a liter. Inflatable penguin. I mean, which one do you sacrifice? Do you want cheap fuel or you want inflatable penguin? Folks, he should have shocked the system back to life. Folks, I expected the dollar speculators this morning rushing to the market to dump their stash because they are just going to be rendered useless. I expect that we are all by now be saying, thank you, Mr. President. Better late than never. Thank you, Mr. President. Better late than never. Folks, I expect the states by now dumping goods and services onto the market to force prices down. So what? Oil is 1,000 cedis a gallon and 1,200 cedis a gallon and all this thing. Look, sometimes when you're at the state, you also have to be radical. Dump oil on the market and force the prices down. You are the government. You have the money. I mean, even if you don't have the money, dump it on the market and force the prices down. Don't just leave people to struggle. Some people want to pay oil kakrachi fruit, but oil kakraya shit out on watch it, and it is 1,200, with an 1,400. Really? Show them where pepper lies sometimes. We are in a move for radical revolution. That's where we are now. We're not going to shoot anybody, but we have to shake the system. Put the fear of God in them. Tell them, call the oil people and tell them, in about 24 hours, I will flood the market with cooking oil if you don't reduce what you're doing. And indeed flood it. Oil no bra be 500 cedis. Oil no bra be 500 cedis. Supply it to all your schools so the schools don't even need to go and buy from them. You have to take them, force them to come down sometimes. You can't just live there and pray and hope. One is praying, one is begging, the other one wants miracles. Hey! I said, man, I'm okay. No. Agroniform. So, folks, I was expecting a revolution. Fellow Ghanaians, I remember the COVID days. Oh, see. When they say fellow Ghanaians, 1 hour church service, fellow Ghanaians, 25 people, fellow Ghanaians, don't sit inside, fellow Ghanaians, African soil condition, open the windows, and we obeyed. Fellow Ghanaians, when you come to Ghana, even if you test in the air, if you land, you will test again. We didn't say anything. Fellow Ghanaians, we've closed the borders. We didn't say anything. So what happened? Folks, what happened to fellow Ghanaians? Fellow Ghanaians did not proceed by love letters. So it proceeded with rules and laws and policies that we had to obey. And I hope it will come back. Folks, it's not late. Give it 10 days, give it 2 weeks. It's just that it could be pre-con Saturday. So maybe you want to come back before they hit the road. But you must come back with all guns blazing. You must come back with all guns blazing. And you're fortunate enough that people are so stressed and frustrated and agitated that they are ready to accept changes that will bring change in their lives. They don't want to see convoys. They don't want to see, you carting a chair in a whole car designated to a chair. These are not the optics. The optics. After all, one will say what? It's what? 1,000 cedis, 2,000 cedi petrol to carry your chair and back. If things were right, what is that? But when things are not right, even if you have an egg, your brother is jealous because they say, Okwamaba. So the advices, the optics are totally wrong for the times. The optics are so wrong for the times. It is bordering on insult. The optics are bordering on insult. And when you get to that stage, you can't rally people along. And at this stage, you can shoot everybody. You can imprison us all. So you need us to rally along. Where Ghana is, we all wear Ghana. Eat Ghana, we eat Ghana. Use Ghana, we'll use Ghana. But so when here, even if you bring me the Ghana, I won't wear it because we are here. So change the optics. Let us all find our mutual friendship. Let's become pali again. Let's become lovers again. And then drive us along. So this speech, it didn't achieve that. It did not achieve that. You can't come and talk to me like this and then I go and change dollar and bring inflatable penguins. Inflatable penguin. Oh, Ghana. Yes, $1 now. You know, go to petrol there, 20 cedis or whatever it is. I said after the speech, I expected some ships to just turn around. No more saying I go back to baby Mufiba because I know no more day yes, shake up. But we cannot do all this if we don't pay attention to the population. This week I wanted to do population. But we buy and but we can't achieve all this if we don't keep an eye on our population growth. It is 0302 216 541. Odote, good evening. Dr. Mubarak, good evening. Listening from the Garden City University College in Kumasi, Dr. Mubarak Ahmed. Irene Akle Okanse. I have mentioned your name. Thanks for tuning in. Let me go to the phone. Hello, who's there?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Now, you see, we are used to grammar, big grammar, especially particularly with this government. We are used to the grammar and the promises over and over and over ever since they took office since 2016. So it's not our fault that we are tired. We are tired anytime we hear it. We are tired anytime we hear the next promise. I mean, the white man introduced God to us. Yes, how they worship their God is different from how we do ours. While they do the hard work, we are here praying for God. I don't know whether for God to descend from heaven and come and do for us what we have to do with our hands, what we have to do with our common sense, what we have to do with wisdom. And it's so appalling. Now, this is how bad it is. See, my work requires me to move around town on a daily basis. The recent people I met just last week, he was a young man and a lady. The young man is walking around with a shovel and a machete, just looking for a place to weed or clean gutters just to get something to eat. That's how bad we've got it. So he approached me, and I had no choice than to give him some money because I can see that he's been working since morning. He went to the next shop just to ask them for water. They didn't give him. So I called him back and gave him money to go and buy something. That same day, met a lady walking around with applications, looking for job. Oh, Nana. This is how hard it is. When we talk, they will tell you that the youth of today do not like work. Me, I'm a youth, oh, Nana. I work from Monday to Monday. Yes, still, the system is not making it easy for me to even succeed with what I'm doing. And who is supposed to make that happen? Who is supposed to make sure that I have an enabling environment to thrive? You know, the government, we vote someone into power. We give the state money, state resources, all the power to that person to make sure some of these things happen. And when they mess up, what they do is they blame others for it. So, Charlie, it looks like we are cursed with leaders who do not really think about the country. And I pray that one day, the same prayers they'll be saying that God should come and do for us. What I know He won't come and do for us today or tomorrow because He's giving us sense to reason. I pray that it turns out to be we get somebody who reason enough and will care about the country for once and not their political parties in the next election. Good evening.
Good evening. And hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening. Who am I talking to?
Lovelance Nanayao.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Yeah, I'm one of your loyal listeners.
Thank you.
I'll be trying to get you all the days, but it'll be very difficult. Okay, thank you for the program. I think our leaders are really not helping us. We should not be suffering in this country. We have everything, but because of mismanagement and selfishness, it's like this country is suffering. I don't understand what the president addressed us yesterday about. All that he said, I've not seen any point in it. Seriously. I don't want to go far. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you even for calling in 0302216541. And we're just looking at and waiting for that, legal and law-abiding and sanitized shake-up in the system. Hello, who's talking to me? Hello? Oh, okay. I think the line dropped. 0302216541. Hello. Hi. Who's talking to me?
Nana, good evening. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. How do you mind yourself?
Yes, I'm very strong by the grace of God.
Very good.
Nana, if you have a coach who is losing a match, the goals are coming in the post, but the coach doesn't seem to get antidotes, and the goals keep on coming into the post. All that you see that when you wake up, you see your supporters moving out from the stadium. Why? Because there's no hope. Nana, the system must be changed. I was expecting to hear that in the next 1 month or 2 weeks, prices are going to be stable, fuel prices are going to be stable, and the dollar, we are going to catch up the dollar. But here we are. We are buying things at a costing pace that there's nothing we can do. And we have leaders who are leading us. So is it a matter of they've lost control or lost ideas? What are they leading us? Do we still see them to be the only people who can lead us? It's very pathetic, Nana. Nana, do you know what red oil, palm kernel oil, and coconut oil does for the system? We've thrown them away, and we are importing oils from outside, eating to stick, whereby these our local ones will help us. Why can't we provide what we eat? Oil refinery. So can't they establish the oil refinery so we can refine our own oil rather than going for oil outside for dollars? Nana, God be with you.
God be with you too. 0302216541. Hello. Line dropped. 0302216541. It's an opportunity, and timing is everything. So we are urging leadership that timing is everything. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, I'm Onas.
Come again?
Onas.
Onas, let me hear you.
Okay, so Nana, about the important thing, may I agree that certain things have to be banned, but it's not just that whole. It goes beyond that. You see, something has to give. You are banning after you ban. Does it end there? Do these people, local manufacturers, do they have the enabling environment to make sure that they thrive and able. Yes, of course, they won't be able to meet the target in terms of how much they need to produce for the whole country. But we need to start from somewhere. That I agree. But after you ban them, then what? You see, does it end there? Because if you ban them and they've been complaining about the kind of taxes, they've been complaining about even not being able to get some resources to make their work easier, and all these problems persist. How are we going? So after you ban them, then what? So me, I think it goes beyond that. If the government is going to do something about that, then I think it should be 360, not just the talk and you ban and then what, and then you leave them and they still have the same wahala they are facing, and you say you've done what? You've not done anything. It's like you are just rubbing your back and you're laughing, thinking that you've done something extraordinary. So it should be 360, I guess.
Good evening. I definitely agree with you that. I mean, there are certain things that when you ban it, even if there's no substitution, nobody dies. I keep saying inflatable penguins. Maybe it's the extreme of it, but I mean, if there's no inflatable penguin in Ghana, who dies? Will be awesome. And there are certain things which, if the demand is really huge, you could force the manufacturing to come down. So I don't need to change any money to go and buy it. And then that's when the experts will come in and say that you have to watch the repatriation so that you don't change the money to try and run away. So they are now. How did other countries make it? Other countries have made it. So how did they do it? Let me speak to Ojam in USA. Kwabena.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Nana, it's been a long time.
I know, Ojam. I say what dog give me Stevie.
Nana, you christened this episode shake up, right?
Yeah.
Shake up. You were expecting a bomb from the president.
Yes.
But you were disappointed because the president has reached a dead end. This man, like lawyer Prebu said on your program, he's clueless. He's gotten to a dead end. Now, Nana, let me make this observation. Within a decade, Ghana has experienced two major crises. One was the energy crisis, which lasted for more than 3 years, and then this economic crisis. It tells you something. And I just want to tell you that if we don't go to the fundamental and the root cause and brainstorm, it's going to be repeated every 4 years, or within the next decade, we shall be experiencing major disasters. So it boils down to the way our political system is set up. Now, we made it such a way that we thought or we believe one person can solve all the problems, right? So when we get to a dead end, there's no way out. And then we are all running helter-skelter, right? We want to shake up. But the person cannot shake anything up. So we need to fix our political system. The political system is a cake. And if we don't fix it, we shall. Let me give you this example. Can I make the last example?
Of course.
Yeah, the U.S. will be going for an election next week. Like, I think next week. It tells you that they believe that within a cycle of a president, they know the president can get to a point where he lacks ideas. So now we need to refresh the system. And these are what I was talking about, accountability tools that we need to insert in our constitution. So it's time for us to rewrite the constitution, Nana. It's not like we are just saying, but we need to rewrite the constitution and insert some accountability tools in it that will make, in case we have a crisis, we are able to solve it. If the person at the Jubilee House cannot do it, then we need somebody in Parliament who can stand up and help move the country forward. Now the country is stagnant. The person in the Jubilee House has got into a dead end. Well,
thank you very much for your call. 0302216541. Hello. Who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Nana, this is Kojo.
Okay, Kojo, let me hear you.
From Pocras, yeah. Nana, my name, I don't know, but the political system is so boy because it looks as if every government dear or bebano or ya dear massa dene ya na obi hat na chi na ya hwe sa na wa ya de na de na say. Even at first cranker university lecturers they don't even speak up when issues are going wrong. But these days they become bold enough and they speak up to these issues, because from some of the policies this government came out with, it's like they came to choke us from banking cleanup. Look at the amount of money they used to do that exercise. A lot of money that could have put up like some factories. We are here always talking about people importing stuff. What are we doing? There's nothing here that we can manufacture. The things we import, some of them, because the government, the policies that this government put in place does not even permit us. So, road tolls here no normal good. I sat down one day and I made check it. Look at these long vehicles that come from Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and all those places. The weight of load they use to pass on our road just to destroy this road. These people come and they go just like that. They don't pay tolls. Now I'm so 11 so much at all. Now baby sounds I have vehicles from francophone countries drivers normal best fare quite the corner. Almost 11 on between the aside that Oman neton ade road to see egu omu nyina ejuma these disabled are na digital nyina motifie banking cleaners workers nyina tifie ome she bia ebe boa kuno ebe boa citizens no. But they actually came to choke the system and make things so hard and difficult for the youth. But no, well, this is my opinion. Thank you for the program.
Thank you for listening and thank you for calling. And now, when you employ someone to solve your problem, and the employee comes to always only explain your problem, what do you do to that employee? Dote ni odote. Nana, the decisive leadership the president showed during COVID-19 was on point. I can't believe this is the same person in power. Leadership Najagon, I say Yatunedro sad. The responsibility is on us citizens now to demand for better governance and be better responsible citizens too. Dr. Cynthia Tego. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
I'm Kwasi talking from Atelibu.
Kwasi, let me hear you.
You see, Nana, this country, sometimes the comments citizens are making about these politicians, but it seems they don't hear. People are insulting you. When you are sick, you take plane, go to somebody's country to seek treatment. Are you also on the same earth? Can't you also do same in your country to be able to receive such treatment here? What kind of country are we in? On Saturday, I was listening to Uncle Ebo, and he said, we are cursed with leaders who think about their pocket first. And I think this is the real reality. From independence to today, people keep suffering. Health system is appalling in this country. But these people never find it necessary to fix it to the standard that deemed fit. They forget that when they fix the system to work normal, the money and the greed they seek will come freely. without anybody talking bad at them. The US has their issues, or other European countries that are up to the first class countries have their issues. But still, the system is working. So why can't you also make it and avoid those greedy and theft issues? It's just so worrying to be from this part of the country. In fact, Anna, thank you.
I thank you too, but still the best place to live. Now, what annoys me the most is those ministers and party communicators who come around after his presentations to say that this is what the president meant and not what we all understood him or have heard him. As if we're all dumb and don't understand English or grammar. Michael from Tumu. Please, whoever wrote the president's speech for him must be sacked. It's too shameful. Symbol Joe from Agona Suwedro. Agona is sacking and I a problem. One a problem. Sacking. It's as though nobody can be sacked. I said no. Nana, our presidents have failed yet. Another leadership class. Ministers, dozens of deputies and advisors, staffers loafing around in expensive top-of-the-range vehicles. Is that not money making noise? Is our president oblivious of how ridiculous he sounds while begging the IMF small boys and touting Ghana beyond aid agenda? I am furious. Not taped by nature. Luckily, I'm unable to get through. But I say all is not lost. All is not lost. 2 years is a long time in political lifespan. 2 years is a long time. If you look at how much money these people amassed in 2 years, it tells you that within 2 years they can look at all changes. So the guy who wrote the speech should go back and write part 2 called The Axe.